Good afternoon, everybody. I hear those familiar bells of St. Victoria in the distance. You can hear them. I do. With Father Bob, with my dog Arlo on the South Campus here, moving toward the end of summer. This is State Fair week. That's why the weather's warm. Go figure. Without the fair, but we got the warm weather. And been interviewing different members of the staff, kind of going through today. Special guest is Joni Jerson on our staff. Welcome, Joni.
Thank you, Father.
And Joni, just, and I know this, but I'm going to ask the question. Tell us where you're from and
Sure.
what was that like growing up?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I was born in a little town called Big Fork, Minnesota, and lived in North Home, Minnesota, which is probably about the same size. I lived there till I was 10 with my parents, who are still living. My dad was 91 in February, and my mom 86 in April. They're both doing well. I have an older sister, Lori, a year and a half older than myself, and I have a younger brother, Steve, who's 4 years younger, and a younger brother, Tom, who's 6 years younger.
Wow. Great.
Yeah.
And first, so northern Minnesota, I'm fascinated by northern Minnesota.
Yes.
Isn't what was the town again?
It's called North Home.
North Home, isn't
Yes.
that just a few miles from Frostbite Falls?
Yeah.
So
I think you're
way
right.
up there.
I
That's
think
the
you're right.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah,
Wonderful.
and then we moved down here when I was 10, so
Okay.
I lived in Marystown, which is a suburb of Shakopee. So lived there, and
Small little.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
been to the church.
Yeah.
Of course, you talk about your dad, 91,
Yep.
still doing push-ups.
Still,
if I
well,
understand.
not as much as he used to,
But he's
but
still
he
doing it.
is.
God bless
Yes,
him.
he is. Yeah, he's doing very well.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah,
How about life today? Where you at?
Mhm.
Where you live today?
yeah. Well, I'm married to Mike, and we lived in Victoria for about 20 years, and then we just moved to Mayer. It'll be 2 years in October. And we have 3 kids. Molly is married to Brian, and they live in Lester Prairie. Our middle one, Mara, is married to Blake, and they live in Winstead. And our youngest, Joe, lives in Robbinsdale.
Beautiful.
And we also have 6. I have to talk about them. 6 beautiful grandchildren, 5 boys and 1 little girl. Our oldest, Bryce, is a senior at Concordia and Moorhead, and he's going to school to become a nurse. And then Kale is 13, Cade is 10, Jasper is 7. No, Barrett is 7, and Jasper is 5, and little Celia will be 3 in September. So
Beautiful.
yeah,
We
yeah,
got a big
loving that.
family.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in the family, am I correct saying the sport of wrestling runs pretty strong?
That is correct. That is correct. Our oldest 3 grandsons, very, very involved in wrestling.
Okay.
Yeah, sports is their life. That's what they do.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite thing about being a grandmother?
Oh my gosh, too many things to mention. It's such a different life. I mean, you love having your own kids and then those grandkids, and it's just wonderful. I love spending time with them, love spending time at the lake with them, just love playing cards with them and just doing fun things.
I love your description of your grandkids. It's like I know them the way you talk about them.
Oh,
I can tell you
wonderful. Yeah.
you're attached beautifully. Yeah.
Yeah.
So work career, I know
Yeah.
you've been around
Yeah.
and
I
not
know.
just here at St. Victoria, but
Right.
tell us
Yeah.
about
Well, when I was 14, I started at the Dairy Queen in Shakopee. I think a lot of people started at the Dairy Queen. And then I worked for St. Paul Companies, which is now Travelers. I worked there for about 17 years. And then worked at the church in Marystown. I was the office manager out there for a couple years. Then back to insurance. I worked at Capacious Agency in Shakopee. And then Victoria, I actually worked at the dental office for 3 months in downtown.
I forgot that.
Yeah, and then volunteered at St. Victoria, and here I am.
Volunteering.
That's right,
Kind of
starting volunteering.
led you
and
down the path.
That's right, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember you worked for a priest I really admired, Father John Kimber.
That's right, yep,
Yeah.
that's
pretty,
right. Yes, he was.
So,
Yeah, that's him.
but so you landed at St. Victoria.
Good.
Joni, I think you and I are the longest standing
I
on the
believe
staff?
so. I believe so.
And
Yeah.
when you
Yep.
came, give us a,
I started June 1st of 1999.
oh,
It's almost hard to say. So going on 21 years.
I was
Yeah.
still driving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
you were. Yeah.
All
I
right.
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've had various roles
Mhm.
here on staff.
Yeah.
Kind of, you've done about everything, I think, but just
Yep.
tell us what you've done on
Yep.
staff.
Well, I started as a receptionist and worked in that role for quite a while, and then administrative assistant, which became more involved with the financial world and things like that. I don't even recall my next my next title, but currently I'm the office manager.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
we've got big plans for you, Joni. We
That's
just
right.
keep giving you things.
There you
and
go.
You do well at them.
Thanks. Yep.
So, at some point, I know you got interested in spiritual direction. What
I
sparked
did.
that interest
I
in
did.
spiritual direction?
Well, a couple of different things. First of all, my girlfriend Deb LeMay, who is also a spiritual director, just with her going through the program, I would go for walks with her and talk with her a lot about it. So that was my first inspiration for it. And then my own spiritual director. I've been going to spiritual direction for quite a few years, and she encouraged me a couple of different times, would invite me to the program, and obviously with your support and your mentoring, it's all brought me to that place. And of course, a calling from God, which I really felt strongly that that's where He wanted me. And I remember at one point it kept coming back to me, and a lot of times when things come back to me is when I know I got to pay attention to this. And I walked into my office at work, and what came was, if not now, when? And I thought, wow, that's really a good question, So I called and made the first, call, and they said, yep, the deadline is this Friday. This was Monday. And I remember I called you and I called Deb, and I said, I need a letter of reference. I need, so I can get into this program, and I need to apply. So I got all of that taken care of thanks to you and Deb. And I was interviewed. They allowed me to interview the following Monday, and I was accepted into the 3-year program.
Wow.
So, yeah. it's
That's
been
already
really good.
3 years. plus.
Yes, I graduated in May of this
Mhm.
year, so it's been really a great
Yeah.
journey. Yeah.
How would you say spiritual direction has enriched your ministry, or how does it dovetail with your ministry, with
Right.
your work and your career?
Right,
at St. Victoria?
right. I look at it as it gives me a good balance. A lot of my work is, financial records, reports, things like that, and I really needed that spiritual balance. So it's given me that full circle balance is how I see it.
Yeah.
And I think it took a lot of conversations to recognize that. So it's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the question is, of course, for the layperson, what is spiritual direction? What is it
Yeah.
not? How
Yeah.
do you respond to that?
Yeah.
The elevator speech or whatever.
Right. No, I see spiritual direction as walking with someone on their spiritual journey. And it isn't the director, as a spiritual director, I don't ever feel like we're actually the director. To me, God is directing us and gives us those opportunities to pull from each other where we might be blocked, where we might have wounds that cover up where God's speaking to us. And that's where I just feel it's more of a relationship. It's more of a helping each other see where God is working with us.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people think, oh, counseling, and it's really not. It's the relationship and walking with God. So,
When you use the term, I've heard people say this, I got to talk to my spiritual coach about this.
sure. Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're a little
Yeah.
different, nuanced, but
Yeah.
similar.
Yep, I would say they're quite similar. And, a lot of times I've done that too. I say, you know what, let me talk that through with my spiritual director. So I think it is anything that can help you find more of where God is leading you in your life, and whatever that is. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like the sort of thing anyone can
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah,
And
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Well, you know, career, simple companies, and then all the things you've done, and then here at St. Victoria, different roles.
Mm-hmm.
Start as receptionist, office manager now,
Mhm.
in spiritual direction, kind of
Mhm.
dual careers,
Mhm.
blending beautifully.
Mhm.
What do you find most energizing and fulfilling in your ministry here at St. Victoria?
Oh, I think well, for one, watching the parishioners, and when I started here, there was about 450 families, and today we have 1,500 families, and I think that's been just so exciting to watch, and to work with them, and to see the goodness and the generosity, and the just what God brings us here, and seeing the Spirit alive,
Yeah.
and working with the staff has been phenomenal, and it's just the goodness of people.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Joni.
Yeah.
You're good for us as a
Oh,
staff,
good.
as a
Thank you.
parish. Thank you so much for your ministry.
Yeah.
And we can't conclude without first giving you a shot at a question from the
boy.
Magic Orange Hat. Are you up for it, Joni?
Oh, sure.
Okay,
sure.
here it comes.
Okay.
Thank you, Liz.
Do you prefer being a leader or a follower?
That's a deep question.
Did you choose this one? Well, for me, it's both. I see myself as a leader in certain things. For instance, spiritual direction, I feel, has really brought me to a different place. Definitely a follower when it comes to the larger gatherings in life, or the larger audiences. I'm very much an introvert, and although I do know challenging that a little bit and getting out there is often good for me. So
Beautiful.
I
Well,
hope I answered that okay.
I see you quietly being a strong leader on our staff and in the community.
Thank you, Father.
Joni, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And for now, with my dog Arlo, no offense, Joni, but you put him to
Oh,
sleep.
it's okay.
He goes to sleep. That's all right. He's here. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Look forward to seeing you next Thursday. It'll be good. Be good. Be at peace. Be well. Thank you.